Okay, here we go. And hello, we are on. Cool. Good afternoon, Yulia.
Hi, Sam.
How are you?
Pretty good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Oh, I'm just noticing the shadow on my head with the green screen. I keep getting weird little glitches. It's not them, it's my header going see-through. It's just I forgot to shut the blind, but we'll see how that is. We're incredibly unprepared today, obviously. So yeah, another week of the low code hour. What are we going to do today?
So today we're going to take a little bit of a different approach. Previously, we've talked about Node-RED and Zapier, which we use frequently. But today we wanted to explore another platform, which is going to be IFTTT, which is if this, then that. Sam has a little bit more experience with it than I do.
Well, yeah,
Uh,
I have an account. So I had an account. I still have an account. I haven't used it for a long time actually, and I think quite a lot's changed, evolved. We were just going through my account earlier, which is up on the screen now. That I'm finding all the old stuff I've got connected that's sort of not working. So we might find all kinds of weird bits of legacy. I can tell how old it is by the profile pic up there of my old profile pic imported, but. Yeah, so IFTTT stands for if this then that, and I think it's probably one of the simplest of the low code tools. And I think I've said this before, but simple isn't bad. Simple is good because it's simple, but on the same side, it can often limit how complex a thing you can do. So let's we not got a huge plan of what we're going to build. We're just going to sort of play around with this and see what things we can find to connect. I've rummaged around a few bits of hardware at my office that we can try hooking it up to. Yeah, we'll see what's on there. But and I'm struggling with the UI on here, so to find things. But let's see. I think it's Explore. If we go up, so I'm logged in already on IFTTT. It's the usual sort of. In fact, that's a good question. Do they even have paid plans? I don't know. I have a free. Oh, this shows how old it is. I'm using Foursquare as my profile pic. Don't think they have. No. Not going any further down. Yeah, IFTTT. Oh, IFT for business. I think that's a kind of embedded thing. So I don't know what their business model. Slow to scroll. We're also using something a little bit different for trying the screen sharing here. So you can probably see there's two mouse cursors on the screen, and what we're doing is we're using an app called Screen.so, which is from the people that originally created Screen Hero. But this screen we're looking at is actually my MacBook down on the table at the side of it, and we're both remotely accessing the same screen on my laptop. So it might work really well. It might be utter chaos because we can both click on things on one web page at the same time over the internet. But we tested it a little bit this morning, or try and see. So it's why it might be a little bit laggy, but we don't have to switch things over. Yeah, so I think the first question is really what's their business model, and I don't see a paid account option. It's not asking me to upgrade.
As far as I've seen, they have two websites. Well, two landing sites. One is the platform, and the other one is just ifttt.com.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So there's this IFT for business thing down the bottom here, isn't there? Enabled your which is what they call what they call platform. So is the idea of that? I think that's that you. Oh, plans. Okay, so the platform one has developer plan. Okay, team plan. I don't get why you'd pay for this. This is interesting. Business plan. Okay,
so you pay to put your product or service on IFTTT, not to use it.
Yeah, so it seems to be in that sense. One service with triggers, actions, expand the reach of your API to an ecosystem. So they're actually asking the API providers in that sense
Yes.
to pay, which is very different to Zapier. So I often think of IFT and Zapier as being quite similar, similar positions. But obviously in Zapier, they're charging the people that are using it rather than, I don't know what I think of that. It's interesting. I mean, it depends, I guess, on what your business model is for your products. But if you're making money off the API, then I guess it makes sense. And it gets you more users using the API. But if you're not, and actually, one of the things I think we noticed earlier, if we go back to, that's the platform is the connection, not the user offering, but the just try and take this back to if, shall we? If you're just using it, then there's no way to charge for a premium service. But I was looking at the things we could connect, quite a lot of them it felt quite like hardware-y and consumer devices, maybe more than Zapier. Where was that? So I'm hoping. Is there anybody on the chat? No. Hopefully. We've got a slightly new layout as well again this week because we keep playing with that. So the chat should appear in that big white box under you. But if somebody is here, please say hello so I know I haven't broken the chat layout as well. I don't think we can see how many viewers are on. No. This bit.
Also, if anyone tried IFTTT before, let us know.
Yeah, if anybody's using it. These were all services I had hooked up. So I had these Android ones. Because they had a mobile app, or they have a mobile app, certainly for Android, that you can put on your phone and trigger things So with Android, when your mobile rings, you can actually use that as a trigger. I don't think you can do it in iPhone, but because on Android you can intercept things like the call events, so you can actually get your phone calls or the data about your phone calls out into there. The Alexa stuff was quite interesting, actually. Should we ever play with that to start with?
Yeah, let's start with Alexa.
I like Alexa.
I can't wait to hear the one next to you.
Yeah, I've got it muted at the moment, as I usually do. But so yeah, I've got all these ones. So I used this a while. So this was kind of an interesting Alexa integration, because normally to build an Alexa skill to hook something up, you have to write code. And Alexa doesn't have a low code capability. But this was something that was in it. I mean, this is quite early on. This must go back to, this predates when I started at Nextbuzz. At least one of the other ones is hearing me. This predates me starting at Nextbuzz, so we're talking 4 years ago that they had this. So right at the launch, you had this idea of trigger. So you could say, Alexa, trigger something, and that something would be your IFT app. So I've got one say trigger heating, trigger hall light. This was an early thing I did with setting up my. I wonder if they're probably not wired up to the lights anymore. I should probably delete some of these. But Alexa, let's turn this one on. Let's see if that still works. Alexa, trigger office lights. Sending that to IFT. I don't know if you heard that. She said sending that to IFT. But I think my lights are disconnected from that now. So yes, because that was my old different Lifex bulbs. Disconnecting. Let's turn that one off. So let's try creating a new one. This is the thing that I found really hard actually to find. Oh yeah, you have to go to create. They're really guiding you down the, like, here's an example connecting services. And what I remember this was the landing page initially, if this, then that. And you started off with just, what do you want to connect to what? And I think a lot of these services are doing it. They're going down the kind of, here's an example, just implement this example, giving people lots of templated stuff. Rather than like just giving you a creation. But here we go. So create your service. So I'm going to try connecting. I'll say Alexa is my trigger. So Alexa.
I find this trigger task system quite similar to Zapier.
Oh yeah, I mean everything. It's funny. The stuff Michael was saying the other day about yeah. Lauren, if you've got Alexa on, then I'm going to say that a lot at the moment. So you've been warned to mute your devices. So yeah, I mean the concept of trigger action isn't even necessarily a low code. That's just becoming that's almost a life thing,
Yeah.
and that's good. The GitHub Actions stuff that Michael's been talking about and he's writing a book on. That's all. He actually said it wasn't in one of his things. It's like IFTTT for GitHub, but that's writing code, but you're still using that concept. So most things are okay. So this is the stuff we can trigger off. So we've got this specific phrase. That was the bit that's quite cool. But you've got they've added some other stuff. So Alexa has all these lists that you can do, like putting stuff on your list. So you can use it to. So this trigger fires every time you ask what's on your shopping list. Very interesting. Actually, trigger off alarms. Trigger off when you play. So this is when you're using kind of Alexa's built-in services. So I do use the shopping list occasionally. Well, I put stuff on the shopping list, and item deleted on your shopping list. I can't quite think why I would want to do it when I add something. I guess if you're going to use Alexa to collect your shopping list, but you want to put your list somewhere else into like Google Keep or some other service, you could copy your list. So you could tell it will basically every time you add something to your shopping list, it'll just copy it over. Let's try the specific phrase one though, because that's probably easier. So let's think of a phrase. What do we want to do? Trigger. We can say anything, can't we? Let's just say Twitch, shall we? So we'll use Alexa trigger Twitch as our trigger. Oh, shut you up.
I don't see that trigger.
Yeah, so it doesn't see that trigger. So I think I've probably already linked this to my Alexa account. Okay, so that's just a trigger because all it is, it's like pushing a button. And now we need to decide what we want to do. So these are our actions. What's a simple action? I know. Let's see if we can make it tweet. I'm assuming Twitter is in here. Yes, because Twitter is the original service for connecting things. To post a tweet. Twitch.tv/Vonage devs. So we're going to tweet that out. Add ingredients. So they use this recipe. Ingredients will be things that come from the trigger. So that's so obviously all we've got in here is what time it's been triggered. So because we're not passing any data, it's basically like pushing a button, isn't it? So I'm just going to send a tweet out. When I say trigger Twitch, it'll send a tweet. I've already linked my Twitch, so I've actually gone through and linked up a whole bunch of accounts, obviously previously. We'll see if that's still linked. But yeah, if you say Alexa trigger Twitch, then post a tweet to @SamMachin. So if you're not following me on Twitter, go and look at my Twitter page. I should probably check what's in my Twitter page. Or we can. I don't know what my last tweet was. It may have been a little bit sweary. Okay, so that's connected. So I don't know if you can. Hopefully, you can hear my echo. I'll turn the volume up. Alexa, trigger Twitch.
Sending that to IFT.
Sending it. Well, now comes. Oh, I got a. Oh, that's interesting. I got a message on my watch from IFT saying an applet has run, which presumably is a push notification on my phone. I didn't even realize. And there we go. I have actually tweeted. Let's see if I can just put that tweet, bring that up. Cool. That's I'll just go straight to the status so you can see the message rather than my old Twitter. I'm live on Twitch. Cool. So every time I say that, it'll tweet out the link. It's easier than a Stream Deck, isn't it? You don't need buttons to press. Yeah, no, that's so that probably. Lauren's saying the watch integration is. That probably means that I have the IFTTT app still installed on my iPhone. Oh yeah, I didn't even know that was there. This is the problem with playing with lots of things. You hook lots of stuff up and then forget about it. Did I ever tell you the story about Emma gets a text message at I think it's about 12 o'clock every Tuesday that says "Hello World," and at some point I was testing some low-code integration platform somewhere, and I was hooking this up with Nexmo with our SMS API, and I was actually testing it out on her. So like she was to see if she could use it. So I was like, okay, let's see if we can schedule it to send you a text message every week. And it was obviously a Tuesday when we were trying it. So we set it up, and she gets this text message at 12 o'clock every Tuesday that says, "Hello World." We'd forgotten about it, and I'd moved on to things. And she once said to me, "Still get that text message. Is there any way we can turn it off?" But I can't remember which platform we set it up on.
Which
So somewhere out there is a little bit of code that's sending a text message through the API, and it's definitely going through Nextdoor. I can see it in my account, but I can't tell where it's coming from. All I know is it's a server somewhere on AWS. It's just like, oh well, it'll just be there. So always tidy up your automations, kids.
I've been getting puns.dev puns for more than a year, alongside Martin and probably Paul.
From where?
Because someone didn't. Well, a common friend of ours did puns.dev, and then an SMS service which would send you a pun every week, or no, every day at 6 or 7 p.m.
And you still get them.
No, that was extremely pleasant when we were going to Asian countries.
Oh yeah, because it's on the time zone as well. Benny saying those DMs giving me anxiety. Oh yeah, so I don't use the Twitter app. I use Tweetbot, which is this. So I guess all those unreads are because I've never read them in the Twitter app itself. So they stay as unread. But my DMs and everything are all read. It just doesn't sync the unread from the Tweetbot client clearly. But I like Tweetbot because it's like Twitter how it used to be before they changed the ordering of things. Cool. So anyway, that's our first integration. We can tell her, who must not be named, that we're on Twitch, and it'll post a message out there. So
do you have any kind of hardware we can maybe work?
Cool. So what have we got?
And before moving on, how many Alexa devices do you have in the house?
Or how many Echoes? How many Echoes do I have in the house, or how many do I actually have connected? Because there's quite a difference. So there's a 10-inch Echo Show on my desk down here, the one with the screen. Actually, there's an Echo Input just sat on my desk. This is the really thin, like one with just a microphone that you hook up to your own speaker. That's not even plugged in. That's just sat under a pile of pens. There's a little I forget what it's called. What's the plug-in one now? There's a new one that looks like it is literally molded into the plug Echo, which is plugged in the landing out there because that just picks up if you're on the stairs quite nicely. The idea is basically anywhere in my house you can just say Alexa, cancel, and one of them will hear you. You don't have to worry about which room you're in. So yeah, there's one there. There's one in the hallway. There's a 5-inch Echo Show in the bedroom. There's one in the guest room where you and Alex were staying back at Christmas. Yeah, I provide that's just an Echo Dot. I should probably upgrade that. So there's 4 upstairs, I think. Then there's a spot in the kitchen, an Echo Plus in the lounge, a regular big old school Echo in the dining room. In Mum's lounge, there's the Fire TV Cube that's got the Echo hooked up, the kind of built-in. It's a TV box but has a speaker system built into it. Is that it for there? Then there's 2 in Mum's house. She's got her own, but they're on a separate account, but we use them for intercom. She's got one in the lounge and one in the bedroom. And then on my windowsill, there's 2 or 3 more in boxes. There's because I have like pretty much everyone. The other one I have somewhere that is charged is I have the Echo Loop, which is a ring. Which is kind of interesting. I'd possibly not charge it. It's not great at holding a charge. I think this was one of their beta ones, but this is a wearable ring that you can sort of see there that has a tiny little microphone and speaker in it, and a button on the back here. So I tap the button and talk to it, and you can just hear it. All it really is a Bluetooth headset to your phone. So it's not. It's an Echo Loop, but it connects to my phone and sends it out through there. So that's quite useful if you're going out the house. It's a bit chunky to wear, but hence because I haven't been out of the house much, it's not charged properly. Should probably put it back on the charger. But yeah, we've got a few of those, and then there's some more somewhere. And then there's the ones I made, the ones I made with Raspberry Pis and stuff. Let's not log into
I
my
completely
Alexa
lost
account.
count, but Yeah, no.
Yeah.
That was 20 plus, right? Ish. Well,
Probably.
doesn't
There's probably
really.
about 20 plus on my linked on my account, different devices. Yeah. But you know, that's part of the dream. Just Alexa everywhere. So yeah, no. So we can. That's actually quite handy. I should probably revisit this for using stuff because being able to just say trigger. So the thing that makes it IFTTT is this trigger word. So basically, they've IFTTT have managed to get Amazon to give them Alexa trigger as a function, and then you can pass absolutely anything you like to it from there. Years ago, I wonder if it's 2 seconds. Let me show you. Yes, I've just remembered what that was from. So this this was a project I built several years ago. This was a cheap. It's just, I think it was infrared controlled jelly bean dispenser. In fact, I've got a manual one here now. Which that was my Christmas present. I forgot I had this. This was on my old project shelf. But yeah, this was an electronic jelly bean dispenser. And the idea was you waved your hand in front of it and it dispensed them. And I hacked it. So it's got a little particle, I think it is, Wi-Fi board in the bottom, which you could use through IFTTT. And instead of I wired that up instead of the motion sensor so that you could send a signal to this over Wi-Fi and it would dispense jelly beans. And I had that hooked up through Trigger. So you could say, I think it was Alexa Trigger Sweet Things, I think it was called.
Alexa, feed the dogs.
Or yeah, I could put dog treats in it. I've not thought about that. I'm not sure it's robust enough. They might go through it. But yeah, so we used IFT years ago. That was what this set was up to trigger that, because you talked to it and it was a thing we did for a Christmas party at the PM studio in Bristol. It was like people had this kind of bring interesting things you've built, and I built that as thing so anybody could walk in. It was when Alexa was brand new, so we had an Echo on the table next to that, and you just walked up to it and said trigger sweet things and got some jelly beans out of it, or Skittles or something. And people, because it was like the Christmas party and people brought their kids, and the kids thought it was wonderful because you talk to this thing and it dispenses sweets at you. I should totally revisit that. I forget about some of the stuff I've built. So why is this not going? Let's go home and see what else we can do. So yeah, hardware. Okay, the Blink. So sorry, go on.
Sorry, carry on.
I was going to say we could try this Blink device. So the Blink is this little. I'll take it out. I think I showed this at the end of last week, and I bought this. I kind of bought this and then never really did anything with it actually. So, but it's made by a company called Thing M. It's the Blink 1 or something, and it was a little bit expensive. Oops, not Blink 182. It's Blink 1 in brackets. So if we can get the USB RGB notification light. So yeah, it's kind of seemed like a good idea at the time. It's a really cheap basic USB dongle that has a couple of these RGB LEDs in it, and you plug it into your computer, and from your computer you can either through a script or whatever change the color of the light. So they have their own app. So we plug this in. This is actually just a USB cable going down into my laptop, so I can hold the light up. And you have to install a little app actually. So I've got the app installed on my machine here now. Device connected, and I can check. So you've got the idea is you set your state. So if I set it to say available, I'm not sure what this will do with that. Oops, missed that. It doesn't work. That's interesting. Open controls, or do I not have available? There we go. That should be going green. There we go. You can just about. Of course, the one with the green screen is that green makes it go see-through. Let's change it to red. You can just about see that if I hold it against my t-shirt, the glowing light. So it's just an LED, and we can change the colours through this app through all these different kind of degrees. I don't know why we have so many blacks, because it's just very dim, isn't it? It's just very dim versions. Yellow, is it bright yellow? I don't know how well that's showing up on the camera, but if I
probably not the yellow. Oh, yeah, that works.
Let's, I don't know if that's easier to see or not. No. Anyway, I think the reds were kind of working on there. You can definitely, if I can see it on the thing, you can see it glowing red, yeah, in my hand like that. And you can even do patterns like flashing and things. But yeah, what it has is this IFTTT key, which you guys can now see my key, but that's fine because I won't leave it plugged into this laptop. So we can hook that up. So obviously this is going to be an output device, so we need something to trigger this. So I had it. Oh, here's some ideas of what you can do with it. Oh, that's cool. So when the space station passes overhead, the light on your laptop can come on. Hourly blink, new item searches, blink when it starts snowing, blink whenever a reminder is completed. Remind me to sleep at night. Some things.
That's a bit counterproductive.
Yeah. Okay, this is interesting. 15 minutes before an event in your Google Calendar, light up. Now that's actually something I could do. It's maybe not 15 minutes before, but maybe like 5 minutes before. Because 15 minutes before, I'll ignore it. So we can link it to a calendar, and it can remind me when I've got a meeting. Let's have a look at. Should we have a look at that one?
I think so. Also, it was interesting with the whatever it was with nobody move or blink gets it. It was right next to the Google one.
Oh, what was that? Oops.
So I would assume that's some kind of motion sensor.
Yeah. I wonder if that's using like a hue motion. So nobody move. What's it? Oh, there it is. Oh, come on. It's not updating the screen refresh. Oh, the screen died. No, it's still moving here, but there we go. It's blink when your Android battery's on there. So, come on. Where's it gone? Ah, I can see the. Right, let's start again. So what were we doing? We were doing blink, weren't we? Okay, I'm not sure how good this blink is. Nobody move or the blink gets it. Ah, so that's using some kind of Nest camera they've hooked it up to. Okay, so yeah, so obviously you can hook up to a home monitoring camera, and if there's movement, it'll that's a trigger.
Yeah, probably Google Calendar is
Yeah, I'm kind
more
of.
accessible.
So what is it? What's interesting is it doesn't really. I'm not very keen on the UI of IFTTT now. Like, it doesn't show you what it's doing particularly well, does it? Like, I have to
Yeah, so from here I should connect it before.
Yeah, I guess. Connect your Nest Cam. I don't have a Nest Cam, so yet. I have just about all the others, but it's like the only thing I don't have you managed to find. So let's just go through the create stuff, because I think that's to me is easier than. So if we go create, we're going to try and hook up Google Calendar. Choose a service. Google Calendar. Is it going to know my Google Calendar? Number of minutes before an event starts. That's what we want. Which calendar? Let's see if it knows my calendars. Or whether it's. Maybe it's not linked to my calendar. I'm not sure if it's linked to my Google account. We can do that. So I would hope this would now kind of be prompting me. Let's do that again. Which calendar? Loading.
So would this be the moment when it would ask you to connect your account if you hadn't done so before?
I would expect so. What I'm wondering is if it's probably connected to my Google account, but has been connected to my Google account like unused for so long that it's like the auth's expired somewhere, or I've changed the password or I've revoked it and it isn't handling it. I really we should have just set up a clean, brand new IFT account for this demo. But it's kind of interesting to see. I should be able to somewhere see my services. My services. There we go. Let's see what's in my services that's linked. Oh yeah, so here. So I don't even have. Well, I do have an Android phone. I don't use it. Package tracking, the button widget, Dropbox, Flickr, Google Calendar. Okay, there's Google Calendar. See if we can reconnect.
Are you going to see your credentials?
I'll hover over. I really shouldn't, but if event starts, wake up. Okay, so I had an event set up. Settings. Okay, it's got my. Let's unlink that calendar because actually I'd rather link this to my work calendar anyway. It'll let us link to there. Right, so oops, now it's gone again. The UI of this is not. It doesn't feel as intuitive. I don't know. There's something very odd, like the design. Maybe it is that's making it feel like I don't know. It's all this very big, chunky sort of, almost like a magazine-y design rather than a utility. I don't know, what do you think? I have no position to comment on design because you've seen my designing.
Like, I feel like from a design, as in aesthetic point of view, it is good, but I find it hard to find things.
Yeah, it's
especially in the tiled view, and also navigation wasn't quite that intuitive.
I think it's it is a very visual design, but it's not a very functional design.
Yeah, that's
it. Certainly when we compare this to sort of Zapier, like I get that it's looking cool, but this isn't a magazine. This is a tool you want, I suppose. Okay, so here we go. So now I've selected Google Calendar, but didn't have a calendar connected because I deleted it. So this is what you would see as a new user. Cool. So it's going to pop a little OAuth. It's going to ask me to use my account. Hopefully, I can do this with 1Password. I'm just going to switch to secrets for a second, just in case, because I really don't want to show my work password, but I should just period unlock 1Password. Oh, okay. That's on this one. And I'm going to have to. This is an interesting challenge to use 1Password in. Let's copy my.
Do you want to pull up the secret screen?
Yeah, we're on the secret screen, so which is why you can't see me.
Oh,
just while
yeah, sorry.
I lean down and do it on my laptop to actually find the password. Vonage.
Too many screens, too many devices.
Yeah, I think trying to use 1Password remotely over the screen share was a step too far. It would help if I actually had the password in here. Okay. I'm going to have to find that on another machine. Why does that not have that password? Okay, that's fine. It's the same password as Okta, isn't it?
Should be.
It'll want my 2FA code. Or maybe it won't, that's fine, because it's a trusted machine. There we go. Make sure, we'll go back to the main. Ooh, he says immediately. Oh, that's why you can just see my 2FA code for 2 seconds. Come on. Actually, that's already expired. That's weird. The screen has changed, but screen hasn't updated. The screen is going a bit slowly. I'm just going to toggle that. The screen's frozen. That's rather annoying. Switch it to that. Oh, there we go. Can you click on anything? Can you click off into the? Oh, there
work
we go.
calendar.
Oh, yeah, we've
Create
updated
trigger.
now. Yeah, cool. I don't know why it just it froze there, but cool. So we connected the calendar, and that should be connected to my work calendar.
But
so,
didn't we have to pick a certain trigger in there?
yeah, let's go back and have another look.
Are you?
Yeah, go on, you do it. This is the game of 2 pointers. We could just play like, or 3 pointers. Oh, that's the pointers one. Can you open that up? Is it letting you click?
I don't think it works.
Yeah, that's rather annoying. Let's try it with. No, it's not changing that. Oh, you can't click on it, so it is already linked. Let's see what it. Ah, no, we chose that
So you
before,
can
didn't
go
we? We
back and
chose that at the beginning. We said a new event is about to start, I think. So it's. This is
yes.
the opposite. It asks you to choose the trigger, then link the service.
Yep.
Right, so we'd already chosen
I was
the service.
expecting
Yeah.
the other way around, being used to Zapier.
Yeah. I don't know whether it's just that we're now more used to Zapier or whether this is. I don't know. Do other people, does anybody use IFT and does it seem intuitive to you, or is it a bit weird? It feels a bit weird to me. So, search services. We're going to try and change the blink light, won't we?
Yep.
So we'll use blink. Send a blink event. Rule name. So are these rules in blink? Let's look in the blink app. So I can trigger buttons. So we have these rules or these. These, yeah. Event sources, pattern, red flash, name. These are ones I previously set up, yeah. So you can create these, add an IFT in the blink light. So I'm going to call this rule, rule name. That's what it was asking for, wasn't it?
Yep.
Dan's messaging me on. So I'll call it, I'm going to call it meeting alert. The pattern is going to be, let's have a flashing purple. I'll just go, why is that light flashing purple, and unplug it rather than intuitively. There we go. Okay, so yeah, I have red demo, green demo, and now I have a new event called meeting alert, which means that now I just have to, okay, so I have to give it the same name, I guess. Create action. Is it going to let me test it? If you respond to an event on work. Oh, okay, it's linked to something else.
Should we say finish?
Yeah, well, I'm just looking up here. It's set. I think it's used a different event. If you respond to an event on work, but I don't want to do it when I respond to an event. I want it when it's starting. So can we go back? I think you're right. I think it's. Well, let's do that and see what.
Okay. Should I send you an event request?
Yeah. Send me a meeting invite. Let's see what happens. That'll appear somewhere.
And this is your Vonage email.
Yeah. To my work account, and I've broken up my email. So if you respond to, how do I respond to an event? Do I have to? I should be able to do that with my calendar. Except I'm in the wrong machine again. My calendar. That's my work calendar. Just for today.
So there's the test thingy.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I've got an invite
Today
from you.
from 5 p.m.
So yes, do I just accept? Oh, that's coming over here.
Think so.
And added something to the calendar. Oh, test. There it is. Here's your event. Accepted. Nothing changed on the light yet. I don't know what responding to an event is. I don't think that's, I mean, that's not what we want though, is it? Because we want it to be able to do
No.
All right, let's turn that one off. Let's see if we can create a
This
new
is gonna let us edit it once
I
it's
think
done.
we need to create a new one because we're changing the trigger, so we need to go right back to. Let's just create a new one, but we've linked the service, so it should be. So if this and our this is going to be calendar. Yeah, you respond to an event invite. So that should have. That's the one I think we somehow hooked it up to. Whereas actually, I want that one. Any event starts. Which calendar? Work time before event starts. Oh, that's annoying. So I can only have.
So you can set it.
No, I only have 0, 50. It obviously runs like they don't run in real time or something. Let's do it when the event starts anyway. At least it'll tell me I'm meant to be in a meeting. Let's try blink again. Send a blink event. And our blink event was, let me just check I've got the name exactly right. Meeting alert.
I would really like that to be a drop down instead of a text field.
Yeah.
If possible.
Yeah, that would be so much better if it actually let you, because you've got to make sure we've got the name. The name. Blink is a bit odd because you run an app on your computer to drive this. So, like, it just uses that ID key. So presumably it creates some sort of WebSocket or something from the app to a, Blink doesn't really have a service. I think this is one of the interesting things with all this IFTTT. There's lots of hardware devices on here. There's lots of, consumer electronics, but most of those you don't subscribe to a service. You buy the product,
and then it makes sense to be local.
So I think from like the business perspective of IFT, it feels to me like, if I'm selling somebody, I mean, we found one earlier, didn't we? Fitbit was on here. You were looking at. You buy Fitbit for whatever a Fitbit costs these days. I don't know, £80, something like that. And it's a one-off fee. But then if they like, who pays for the servers? And you're not paying IFT. They're asking Fitbit to pay IFT, so they've got to take that out of the devices they sell. I mean, it's been around a long time, so maybe it is, but I'd almost feel more comfortable if I was paying IFT for the service than relying on getting it from somewhere. Okay, so any event starts on work, send a blink event. There's also no test. There's no ability for me to test this blink event. You know how in Zapier you can set something up and then you can say test and see it do the action. So I've just got to wait.
I found that extremely useful.
Yeah, I've got to wait for this to do an event start. So
do you want me to move up a meeting?
Let's change. Yeah, can we change it to 2:45? Well, it's probably too late now. Of course, it's only going to do it on the. This is not going to. Yeah, it's not going to be too easy to test. Well, we can also. The interesting one for testing it with, I think, was the Alexa triggers. We can create another one to send that event from the Alexa triggers. Let's try that. I'll leave that one on and see if you can rearrange that meeting for in about 5 minutes time.
In about 5 minutes time, okay.
Yeah, go to 10:02.
Put it for now.
We'll see if the light comes on. Let's try another one. Yeah. Say a specific phrase. Let's use the phrase blink. And that. Yeah, so this isn't bad. I definitely prefer the UI of creating things that if this then that UI. Meeting alerts. Create action. Now hang on. I wonder if I've got this hooked up to a different Blink app, which is the one on my desktop, not the one on my laptop, with the key. I've just thought of something. We'll find out in a minute, because I bet this won't work. But if any event starts, send Blink. Yeah, so I just got the notification to say that your event start one has run on my watch. So obviously it had figured out that the event had started. But I think this will still fail because I don't think we've got the Blink looked up properly. Alexa, trigger Blink.
Sorry, I don't see that it triggered.
Connect. Let's turn it on. Connect. Contact on. Can you hear Alexa, by the way, through my headphones when she talks?
I can.
Cool. Alexa, trigger Blink.
Sending that to this.
Nothing on the light. Yeah, I bet I know what this is. This is going back to that settings. My services. Blink. And right, we're just going to switch over to secrets a second because I really don't want to show this key. Yeah, need to edit the key. I had the key for a different, probably when I had it plugged into my the Blink app on my iMac rather than the Blink on my connect. Right, and we'll come back to there. Cool. So we've now updated our settings. So let's try that one more time. Alexa, trigger Blink.
Sending that to this.
Oh, there we go. It's lit up.
There we go.
You can just about see that has got. That is actually flashing purple, or flashing kind of the LED does a weird thing to the camera, but you can see it's flashing something, so it pulses purple. Cool. So that should have actually, I think that probably would have triggered when we had the calendar hooked up as well. But it's interesting we can only do it on.
I also ended up moving the meeting, so it might come in again.
Oh, okay.
In a minute.
What time is it now set for? 15:50. Oh, okay. So it should be in about 40 seconds. Hopefully, we'll see if the light. What's interesting is I get the notifications on my watch when the applet runs. So yeah, that's kind of cool. What other things are there? So, do you want to have a look at Fitbit? Go on, feel free to. See.
Yeah, we could. I don't really have a lot of data to work off of.
Well, I think my Fitbit's been in my bedside drawer for about 2 years, so it's not got a lot of steps. So what can we do? So I was posting a summary. Yeah, I was posting my step counts onto WordPress. Oh, this is slow. I'm not sure this screen app is working too well with streaming. Maybe I wonder if it's just something not quite up to it, because the control is working. I'm actually updating my my laptop. I can see the screen moving on, but screen is freezing. That's really nice. Is it updating for you? If that's scrolling,
it's a little laggy, but it's still good.
Yeah. I wonder if this is a problem with streaming. It's not updating at all, ironically, in my iMac. So let's try.
So you have to keep looking sideways to.
Yeah. Well, the problem is that nobody can see it on the stream, though, which defeats kind of the point. Let's bring in another You won't be able to see this, but let's bring another window in over the top from my iMac and go to IFTTT.com. Let's see if I can drive it until that catches up. So, Fitbit. So, settings. Fitbit and iOS health. Oh, that's interesting. iOS, they have. Oh, is it updated? Caught up? Yes. Oh, that's better.
Oh, that
Screen's
could
woken
be
up again.
interesting.
So I didn't see. We looked for Apple Health, didn't we? Or iOS reading list. It's not easy to find services on here. Search services. No, iOS. Okay, but that's as a trigger. iOS photos, iOS reminders. Maybe it can only
So maybe
write.
it was an action.
Yeah, that's what I'm. So let's use Fitbit. What can we do from Fitbit? Okay, here we go. So triggers from Fitbit. Daily activity summary. So when you get your previous day's stats, yeah. Because Fitbit syncs periodically, and then so the first time it syncs each day is when it kind of will confirm that you've got a complete previous day. When you reach your goals, daily goal not achieved by. So if you haven't made your step count by 9 p.m. or something, it'll do that. New weight
Sorry.
logged. That's all right. No, have a play. And the scales as well, because we've got the scales downstairs. Daily very active. So let's try. It's just freezing again, though, isn't it? It's not going to work well. So new weight logged. No, I don't want to do a new weight log. We've this screen app. We're going to have to find something else for screen sharing for next week. It was an interesting idea, but it's just not updating. Actually, seems to be the problem. That redraw there. Yeah. Oops. And I think screen has died. Yeah. Did you lose? No. Not in a meeting. Where's the window?
So I can
still
still
got it.
see it.
Why have I lost it then? There we go, that one. I've completely lost screen now. Oh. Ooh, now my Mac doesn't work. Or have we gone? No? Ah, there it is. It's there, but it's not there. Weird. It's like I've got like an outline on my desktop. Okay, let's.
Do you want to restart it?
Yeah, I think we're going to have to say technical difficulties now because that's why is it lost screen? Screen? No. I'm just going to go into OBS and see screen item 0. Nope. Okay, let's go for a bit of an alternative here. And just bring a local Firefox window in, and let's abandon screen. I'll share that with you over Skype. I don't remember where the Skype screen sharing is. Screen share application window. There we go. You'll just have to watch me. Can you see that one now?
Yeah, that works.
Oh, okay, we'll go back to the old-fashioned way. But, I'll have to drive. So yeah, so this was the Fitbit stuff. What was this Fitbit and iOS health sync? Because it doesn't show us what it does.
So that is the logo from Apple Health, isn't it?
Well, iOS Health, but I think,
It is.
yeah, so that will push data from Fitbit into Apple Health. What it won't let me do is get the step count from my watch out. I think you can push data into Apple, but you can't get it out with one of these.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah, no, that's... So let's go back and try just doing something with Fitbit. Create. This.
Would there be a way to get some details and display them maybe on the clock you had?
Yeah, so let's see what we can do with that. So we want the daily summary and that. So yeah, I have this Lemetric clock here, which is a Wi-Fi enabled. Oops, where's the camera gone there? Thing, speaker and stuff in it. And you can hook this up to IFT. I've currently got it mostly showing a clock and showing a share price and a stopwatch. You can obviously turn the radio off. So let's use that as our output. I'm going to have to get some data. I'm not going to get a lot of data from Fitbit, of course, but so it's called a Lemetric.
Looking at it, mine is sort of kind of synced to other apps. So if we need data, I have data, not correct data, but some.
Yeah,
data.
but I'd need your Fitbit login on here. Now you can't control this, so you can't put your Fitbit login.
Oh, and I can no longer do that. Yeah.
Oh, and control the stopwatch on the. Right, I'm guessing we want to display a notification. Display. So I've previously linked it to my metric. Icon or animation. We'll just use no animation. I felt fit today. I took. Okay, so it's not got a lot of space, so we'll just display total steps, shall we? And we can play sounds on here. I won't do a dog because that'll set Gizmo off. Let's use +1, whatever that might be. Priority normal. Yeah. Only important messages. The metric has a screensaver. Make it important just in case it's not doing anything. So let's receive notifications. So I just need my Fitbit to actually sync some data now. Which, okay, so we get our daily activity summary from Fitbit. Let's try the limit. I think the best one for triggering this stuff is so yeah, it's there a webhook. Let's go. Yeah. So we can do something with manual webhooks. We'll just call it message. Because you were talking earlier, weren't you, about what was it you asked me? Is this low code or no code? We were debating, weren't we, with IFT?
Yeah. Well, my first reaction would be no code.
Yeah.
Because can't really see. But then again, when webhooks are not code, but it's
close, but yeah, no.
Gray area.
To me, I think the thing that makes it a low code type platform is if you have the ability to write a little block of code in something like on Zapier, you can create those code blocks, or in Node-RED, you can create function blocks. And I think one of the things with IFT, one of the real big limitations or simplicities of it is it's always one-to-one. You can't have multi-steps. So it's just take something from A and push it to B. You can't really take something from A, transform it, rearrange it and push it to B. You have to do it it's always a one-step process, which isn't bad per se, but it's...
In that aspect, I think it's comparable with the free tier of Zapier, where you can have one trigger and one action.
Yes, I suppose, yeah.
But then Zapier is still more customizable.
Yeah, I mean, you've got this message thing. We can, so we've got. I mean, that's interesting. So they're using moustache templating.
Mustache.
But the event named blah occurred, so I called my event message. So it'll just. So you've got the ingredients. Okay. So the event. So let's change this to be. Ooh, so I don't like the use of quotation marks here. What are we putting? I don't get that. You putting quotes around the thing? What was that? It's just Moustache should ignore them, shouldn't it? So we're going to say event name, sent, and a value. Let's try a bit of code. Sound. We'll use that positive sound again. Priority normal. Create action. Is it going to tell me how to send something to this webhook? I'm hoping. There we go. Finish. So how do I find out the URL of my webhook? I'm guessing settings. See the web request message. Go to your maker service settings and then the URL listed. Okay, so I've got to go to my maker service to find, and my event name is message. My services. Do I have a maker service? Ooh, we do. LM.
It doesn't.
Webhooks. Oh, okay, not maker service, but I'm guessing it's going to be in here. Settings. Yeah, and then there we go.
Oh, yeah.
There's my URL. There's no real easy
And then
way
you
to
have to
put.
figure out a way to.
I'm guessing it's just slash the event. Let's try a bit of terminal in a low code show because that's always good. How do I make it bigger? There we go, bigger. Apple Plus. Right, HTTP post to that slash message equals test. Oh, that didn't work. Other two bad gateway. So how do you use the maker settings? Let's Google it. It's definitely not as intuitive, is it?
No, I get a weird feeling because at first glance it's more low code, no code than the other two, but then you get the random bits like setting up the webhook where
Zapier,
you actually need a bit more
guides
knowledge.
you better than I think they've tried to make the UI. It's very visual. It's very UI first, and they've tried to make the UI look really friendly. But actually, that's almost made it harder to see anything. I think. Can I edit this? I don't get how I trigger a webhook. Okay, so that's a setting. I can delete that later.
Maybe that's just.
Let's try it without slash message. Oh, no, that's what it is. I was doing an HTTP port,
Oh, yeah.
not an HTTP post. And let's try it with a post as my. Cannot post. Slash use. Hang on. I have a feeling the event name is in that slash you change use? No.
So.
No. So what is the webhook? Blah blah blah. Can I publish an app with webhooks? What if I want to build a service? So yeah. How do I actually make? I don't want to see if. To make a webhooks. These are the things we want. These are great other things. Yeah, it's giving me lots of ideas. it doesn't tell me. Documentation. Right. Yeah. Slash. This is what we want. Slash. Make a post or get request to slash trigger. So I don't know what I was doing. Slash use with key, and there's my key. Okay. Well, I'm going to delete this account anyway, so it doesn't matter if people see my key. But let's HTTP post to that, and the event is message. With key is that. I could send some JSON value 1 and a value, wasn't it? Value 1 equals test. Oh, the clock did something. Message sent test. Cool. We can try that again. Okay, that worked. Cool webhook. So if we send our
so test was the
test
value.
was the value I sent. Yeah. So we can just to prove that if anybody's really on the ball now, they can send something to that URL. But badgers. So it should say action name, which is message, and then what it sent, value 1. Message sent badgers. Yeah. Cool. Okay. That's kind of.
Siri here.
Go away, Siri. I don't want to talk to you. We'll remove the webhooks now, so it doesn't matter about those keys, and it'll generate new ones if I ever want to use it again. Well, that's kind of interesting. I mean, looking at the stuff they've got a lot of hardware, a lot of smart home. It's a very consumery service, I think. I always thought Zapier was more like business type use cases, and IFT was maybe a bit more consumer. Just looking at like the services,
I get the same feeling.
Things like Wemo light switches and Ring doorbells and stuff, and very not quite IoT but smart home stuff. They've got Spotify, they haven't got Salesforce. I guess
That's a good definition.
A good test. Let's see if they have got Salesforce. To me, Salesforce is the ultimate corporate app. No, I mean they had Dropbox, but again, Dropbox is a kind of consumer app. Google app.
It is.
What's another business app? Yeah, so maybe kind of fun for domestic users, and again, maybe that fits with their sort of pricing model, but it's not as easy. And I think a lot of stuff you can do with Zapier. They've got this. They've got these sort of device stuff that you can hook up to, like on the phone. Just sent me an old app. What does location do? Space, Android Watch, weather, smart plug. So maybe they were trying to become a platform for smart home automation. I think the problem with that is it always quick enough? Or the Alexa thing's good because Zapier doesn't really have Alexa at all. Zapier has Google Assistant, but it was a bit odd when I was trying to set it up. The Alexa integration is actually probably one of their nicest things here, because that's really kind of easy to just set up a trigger. So what? Now here's a challenge. Can we do? Create. Can you use can it make a web request on the output? So Alexa, trigger, let's say webhook. Can we make it just call a URL somewhere else? Yes.
Oh.
I want to reconnect it. Give me a
Right.
Make a web request. Okay. So we could now surround
The URL you deleted earlier?
No, it's just reconnected and given me a new one in another pop-up window. Now, what I'm thinking is I'm going to see if we can make it send an SMS with Nextmo. I've got to look up the. We should be able to call the SMS API from this. Sending an SMS. Do we have a? You can do it in a query string, can't you? I believe. What's my brand name? What's that?
Yeah. That's the center ID.
Yeah, that's the font. So what we actually want to do is we can just do query 2 equals 4479. 50607. And we'll try it in the browser. From equals IFTTT. And text equals hello. And API, it's API underscore key, isn't it? I can't remember. Yeah, API underscore key equals, and then I need to check what my API key is. And it begins 884, but I can remember the rest of it. I'm really going to show you that there. Key there, and I've got my fancy temp secret, so I can just do my secret as password 123 for the next 300 seconds. Oh, and I think that's done something because the API does this weird. Yeah, there we go. Cool. So that's sent that did send me an SMS saying hello through a browser. But if we copy that string into here as the URL, as a get with our content type of JSON, I guess. We don't have a body. We're just doing a query string. Right, finish. So now, Alexa, trigger webhook.
Sending that to this.
Fingers crossed. Oh, that's the notification that says it's run. Text message. Is it? I think that was the original one. That didn't send the text message. URL needs to be REST method get. That's optional, but it shouldn't matter. So it should make that request to send me a text message. Alexa, trigger webhook.
Sending that to this.
Oh, there we go. Bing, the text message came through. Cool. So, because we can hit our webhook with from there, so you can. That's kind of useful. I think I like the Alexa trigger stuff, but a lot of the apps are less friendly.
But then, who would you recommend it to?
Yeah, good question. Why would you use? I think it comes down to the services. If the thing you want to connect is a consumery electronics device, something like a Fitbit, some of the smart home stuff, that kind of thing, and you want to just get, you want to just copy data from one thing to another, thinking it like your Fitbit into Apple Health, then it's definitely got a very different collection of channels, hasn't it, to Zapier or to Node-RED. But I think sometimes you're gonna struggle to to figure out. Well, the interesting one as well is, of course, you could get clever and cross-connect IFTTT to Zapier with these webhooks. Maybe we'll have to try that one.
And then Zapier to Node-RED.
And then, when we release that. But maybe another time we'll try and do a mega mashup of how many different low-code services can we make trigger each other. That would be a fun thing. Oh, anyway, well that's That's an hour and a quarter. So and I think we've given IFT a good kicking. There's some nice stuff. There's some less nice stuff. There's some stuff to play with. I think it maybe some of it isn't helped by the fact that I've got a whole bunch of old config in there. But, yeah. What are we going to do next? 2 weeks time, next fortnight. Because you're organised.
I believe we are circling back to Zapier.
Oh, cool. Okay, well, that'll be an interesting one to try out then. So, we'll see what else we can find. We'll maybe have a bit more of a just see what weird and wonderful connections are in there. Oh, and here come the dogs. That's right, they're going out again. So, yeah, cool. We should. I should probably wrap that up. So let's go back to the two-person screen. Cool. So yeah, 2 weeks time we're going to do Zapier. Usual reminder of the coupon code if you want to play around with like sending SMSs through IFTTT or something. I say with that Alexa triggering is quite cool. You could get some free credit and do that. And yeah, I think we'll call that a day. Okay, thanks, Julia. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Thank you.